back here with another episode of Nailing History. This is our second attempt at our third episode. I lost power in the middle of recording an episode on Monday night, and that will forever be the lost episode. And I got John here. John, what do you think? You think that was a good thing that we lost power there?
Yeah, it was. I don't know where that one was going in particular, but like you said, Lost Colony of Roanoke. I think some things are better left unknown.
Yeah, that's on
Annals
our
of History.
Twitter. Make sure you follow on that Nailing History.
Yeah, it's gonna grow.
Yeah, so we had a bunch of mishaps on Monday, trying to set this up through a new service to do some remote recording. John's Chromebook, what doesn't work on the system that we have, which is pretty classic. So
yeah, we had to reach out to these guys.
So then we decided to use Google Meet, to where I said to John, all right, we'll just switch to Google Meet. Why don't you send me a link for a Google Meet? And he went ahead and sent me a link to the Google Meet service, just like just not to a Google meeting, just hey, just like I clicked the link and it was like, welcome to Google Meet, no meeting or anything. What do you have am I right?
Yeah, it wasn't my finest moment, but I don't use Google Meet all the time. To be fair, I was all in on this Descript, or let's give them a shout out, Squadcast with Descript. I don't know how they're a package pair, but anyway, someone I can't give a shout out to is their customer service department. Unfortunately, I know
we shouldn't put him on blast like that. All of our listeners are going to hear it, but yeah, I got his name right.
I don't know. We don't get sued by some support rep at Descript. But anyway, yeah, just asked them if, their website clearly states that Chromebook could be used, like black and white. And then I asked, do you accept this work with Chrome OS, which is the operating system on all Chromebooks? And he's like, yeah, no. And his solution was get a whole new device. I believe his exact words were to rectify that problem,
phone, which you could somehow. I probably
have a whole setup here.
I don't think it works through Cricket Wireless on a OnePlus phone though either. It's probably limitation.
It's Mint Mobile, and I'm happy to say that my fiance is now a proud member of Mint Mobile. So I've got one. It's only taken me 5 years, but I finally got someone. Actually, my sister's on it too. And if you want a deal,
I'm on Straight Talk, so prepay all the way, baby. No contracts for us, huh?
No contracts.
No contracts. So John and I were talking today, and we got into a little bit of a heated argument now. It got heated via text. You know you were getting upset with me.
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit. I was just looking at our Google Drive, and I noticed there was some action on the Google Drive after as recently as May 10th. On the women list, because we have decided to apply women for the queens of the deck, which is going to be the next episode that we pick. And I noticed one of them was active. I guess I'll leave it to myself, but John kind of showed his hand, figuratively and literally is exactly what I said.
I'm trying to find the exact. I think you said. You mistype a lot in text, I have to say. Your spelling is all over the place.
Well, I do. I have spell check turned off because I'm an open book.
Figuratively, I believe is what you said. Figuratively and literally showing your cards.
Figuratively, literally was. Yeah, don't backtrack. So the issue was this particular woman was more of against the ratification of the Constitution. And I said, and as soon as I read that about this person, I knew that that's who he was going to want to pick, because that's kind of his, they call it a litmus test, a yes or no for a lot of these people that he supports. And I wanted to make the point and say, hey, don't make the fact that they were against the or that they were for the signing of the Constitution to eliminate them from contention as being one of the greatest forefathers just because of your own opinion.
It's about keeping the spirit of 76 and asking the right questions. Why did we leave a central power that was Britain and be overbearing why would we just want to make a new overbearing central government right in our backyard? I think I said it in the previous episode, and I'll say it again. And it's a valid question. Why would we do this?
Jefferson said that too. Is that where you're quoting that from? Possibly.
I haven't seen the direct quote from him, but it's possible. I'm sure Derek Henry. Well, not Derek Henry. Shout out to him and the Ravens. But Patrick Henry certainly would have said something to the effect. I'm sure George Mason did too. I don't have the quotes in front of me. Recommend all of our listeners fact check anything that comes out of either one of our mouths.
But my point,
wise.
Yes, be sure to do that. My point was there was a lot of good things that came from the Constitution. You can't blanketly say that. Just like everything, there were compromises that needed to be made in order to come to an agreement. And it was important to get that stronger central government in line, mostly for protection from, the higher powers of Britain, Spain, and France. And my argument is if the Articles of Confederation were still in effect, thank goodness for Shays' Rebellion. If the Articles of the Confederation were still in effect in 94 or whenever before Jay's Treaty came through and the British were attacking our ships crossing the Atlantic to trade with them in France, they could have just kept coming over and just could have got taken control of their colonies again. That's why they didn't leave those forts up north until Jay's Treaty, all along Canadian border. They were getting ready to, be like, these guys, they're fighting amongst themselves. They were waiting for the destabilization, as you like to say, get a little destabilization between the colonies, and then come in and attack. And thank goodness that the Constitution was put into place in order to unify all of these states in defense of the country. That brave men fought for independence.
And then my rebuttal to that was, well, the war was fought under the Articles of Confederation and under a Continental Congress system where you had these 13 former colonies fight against the British. Yes, we had help from the French, but it was done once before.
Understatement of the century.
And the Articles...
Understatement of the century from John. Help from the French.
I'll get the Articles right now.
Arguably would have lost. He's leaving.
Pretty sure. I guess our fans can't see the video, but got the book right here. I've got the Articles of Confederation by Applewood Books. A League of Friendship, common defense with each other for their common defense, the security of their liberties and their mutual and general welfare. I mean, I don't think we gave it. It was only around for 6 years. I don't think people like Alexander Hamilton and James Madison's. I mean, they wanted it gone before it ever even came into effect. Before Maryland in 1783 even gave its final say so. They wanted it out. Hamilton was not about it from the get-go. George Mason, when he went to the Virginia, he was planning. He was expecting.
Calm down. All right, let's have a civilized conversation. And I was thinking. I went for a run after our conversation. I was very upset that we were mad at each other, and I was thinking, this is a perfect example of what America was like during the first party system that they had in the elections. They had the Federalists, who were for a centralized government, and they had the Republicans that were more for state sovereignty. So John would side more with the Republican side of things. I'm kind of more in the middle. I see both sides of things, but John has a hard time seeing the Federalist point of view, I believe.
No, I can see their point of view. I just think they acted in a much more expedient manner. Alexander Hamilton, like I said before, he's a brilliant guy, but he was a political animal, and he loved the corruption that the British model offered. And yeah, he came from a mercantile background. I think his prescriptions for what government should be were very much grounded in, well, this is how the British are doing it. We're now no longer part of the British, so we have to institute what the British were doing here to be able to join and run with the League of Nations at the time. Whereas the Republicans were like, well...
Did they accomplish that?
I mean, yeah, we still live in Hamilton's America right now, so I'd say they did a pretty good job. We got $33 trillion national debt. He was all about starting that thing.
Our
So
fans got to miss this, but when I praised your pick, Thomas Jefferson, for running a budget surplus, whatever the word is, he cut the debt while cutting taxes. You said that nobody cares about that. Ooh.
I think they would like. I said they would like that. It's a great platitude to say it, but I don't think your average American would understand that to do that would require to cut services like Social Security, like welfare programs, like all that stuff.
Yeah,
it all sounds good to be able to.
I'm just giving you a hard time.
That's fine, but I'm still looking through these articles here. Apparently left the door pretty wide open for Canada. I'm going to read straight from Article 11. Canada, acceding to this confederation and joining in the measures of the United States, shall be admitted into and entitled to all the advantages of this union, but no other colony shall be admitted into the same, unless such admission be agreed to by 9 states. So Canada had a wide open door, but if anyone else wanted to join the 9 states that had acceded to the articles.
You're saying that Canada had an easy way to join the union?
Like, they wanted Canadian support even during the war, and I guess they just kept the door open as the articles were made, and over the years they were just like, okay, if we ever decide and convince Canada to join the United States, they have an open door, it looks like, from the articles.
Right. Well, you can argue
any other state, like if Mexico wanted to join the infant United States, like they would have to be the 9 states would have to agree to it. Whereas Canada, I guess, had an open pass. Just if Canada one day was like, okay, we want to join you, they could do it. Imagine what could have been.
That relationship is still there today. No.
If Canada wanted to join the United States.
Yes.
Or just the relationship we have with them.
Like, I mean, the relationship that we have to them, it's pretty soft border.
Yes, it's pretty tight.
It's tight. But, yeah, I don't know. You're not really...
The Constitution's fine. There's certain people...
against it, is my point.
Well, I would take the position of like someone like a George Mason, who ended up becoming the biggest opponent of it. But before the Constitutional Convention, he even saw the weaknesses in the articles, and he was on board with, okay, let's have a discussion. He thought he would sign it and move on, but then just based on what it was that what would become the Federalists, actually wanted out of it, it was too egregious to sign up for. So. And a lot of the people that even went to the Constitutional Convention, had they known they were actually getting a new founding document, like they were actually creating a new constitution and throwing away the articles, many of them wouldn't have even shown up. So it was just, the whole situation was done duplicitous, like kind of behind closed doors, literally, and in the shadows. And then it wasn't until they actually came out with something that, okay, like we'll talk about ratifying this thing now. But a lot of people just, we're calling it out way back when. And yeah, I don't know. I just think the states, like I said, for me, before we even started this podcast, I said the biggest takeaway I wanted is that as long as people understand that the states created the federal government and not the other way around,
real quick. Good. You want to lower your microphone volume on that number 1 knob. You see the bars on your screen. You don't want to be hitting the red. It'll be like right in the upper greens and yellows.
Hello, am I screaming?
No,
I don't see anything.
It's coming in fine, but it's coming in fine to me. But if you see the red thing, your microphone's too strong. So adjust your volume accordingly. Not to change the subject, even though thank God I did. It was getting boring.
Maybe we can explore what. Wait, can you even hear me now?
I can hear you. I can hear you fine.
But I'm not hitting the bars.
You're hitting the red. You're hitting the. I can see it. I can see it. You can't see that. You're hitting the red bar.
No, I don't have any bars on my side. On this picture on the screen.
You don't?
No, there's not even moving.
Uh-oh.
When you talk, I see green, yellow, red. When I talk, I just see nothing. My VU meter's not moving.
Huh. Well, I can see it if you were in the reds, so we'll see. We'll see what happens.
See if anyone's eardrums are still with us after.
No, it's fine. I should be able to mix it to balance it, hopefully. But I just wanted to change that subject or to bring that up. But yeah, I mean, I think your problem is you have a hard time with compromise. You ever think of that? I think you would have been a tough nut to crack in the ratification.
I would have been the
process.
John. I hope I would have been the John Dickinson. I don't know. I'd like to think that I could come around to it, but I would be conservative enough to ask the right questions.
What's the Alexander Hamilton? What would you say is the Alexander Hamilton counterpart, the Republican counterpart of Alexander Hamilton?
George Clinton, Patrick Henry, John Hancock.
Well,
these are the guys
Patrick
that they
Henry
were like
stayed in Virginia, so that's a bad.
Well, so did
answer.
John Hancock. Okay, well, these are the people
John
that
Hancock was a beast.
They could perceivably they would lose, or arguably they would be the biggest losers in a situation where the states had to give up more power because they were top dogs in their states. Like they ran the show. Like Patrick Henry ran Virginia, like he ran their Congress. He basically forced James Madison. He almost basically kept James Madison from going to the first Congress, U.S. Congress. Like he basically controlled, because at the time.
I mean, I think a good argument for that is Aaron Burr, while he was vice president of the country, wanted to become the governor of New York because that was actually considered a lateral move or potentially even a move up as a career move. But that was more that the vice president's, the power of the vice president was super low at that point, which it arguably still is. If you ever watch the show Veep on HBO.
Well, they were still president of the Senate. I mean, if the case is a tie, they have that. But Aaron Burr became governor. So there was talk of secession.
J Treaty, tie, J Treaty.
There was already I was reading that about Aaron Burr. Part of the reason why he needed to be governor was that he would side with New England and secede from the United
that's why
States.
Alexander Hamilton hated him, and that's why Alexander Hamilton got. Pretty much what happened.
I mean, Aaron Burr hated him.
They hated each other.
Hamilton,
I mean, I don't know if you can hate anyone more. Than
everyone hated Aaron Burr. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Well, then he ended up. Is he on the cards? I didn't see him on the list because I wouldn't consider him a founding father. Because then he ended up going west and trying to get this kingdom, and then he wanted to run a show regardless of where it was or anything. He was a power hungry douchebag.
Yeah, he was.
That's my opinion of him. Sorry if there's any family of Aaron Burr listening. All respect. Yeah, but he was a dick.
He was not a real one.
No. Speaking of family, I was just about to get to this on Sunday night before the power went out. Talk about my family relationship to Alexander Hamilton. I don't want to disappoint anybody, but turns out I'm not related to Alexander Hamilton, nor is my brother-in-law. There's really nothing there. I talked to some family, and I was a little confused. It's probably one of those commercial, like what do you call it, where you trick people into thinking something's cool. On that 23andMe thing, I guess my dad took it, and his test came back that we share similar genes to Alexander Hamilton, which is lame. And I'll admit, I knew this when I was talking about it. My dad's side of the family, he's like the second generation in America. But I just tried to use the whole 1750 thing as to pat, but I was fibbing. I was fibbing on purpose on that one, just to try to prove a point. Sorry.
Maybe the Muhlenberg family.
Sorry, just
maybe you have other.
I've heard some feedback from listeners where there's some royalty and relationships to George Washington, and they were excited to hear that I was related to Alexander Hamilton, but I hate to say it. It's not true. Not even close. I mean, I guess there's some relationship there, but
Well,
you could. That's kind of. I did say that. You could argue that. You could say that about anybody. So I wasn't necessarily wrong there, but I feel like I led people on, and I have to come clean.
so I'm probably have closer relations to him by the sheer fact that I just spent 2 hours in his house once. I'm probably
that's a
more
ridiculously
closely related.
incorrect statement. That's
No,
not
I probably picked
scientifically
up.
That's not scientifically factual. That makes no
I'm
sense.
basing this using the same scientific facts you're using based on possible genes from 23andMe. I don't see how they're any different.
I mean, there's some science behind 23andMe. What did you do?
I stood in the
are you
guy's
saying,
bedroom. I mean, I don't know.
You slept
Was
in his bedroom?
No, I stood in it. The National Park Service Ranger seemed really self-impressed that he knew all these weird facts about Alexander Hamilton.
What was one fact?
But
can you think?
I don't remember. But he just had kind of an air about him. He's like, "Isn't this so cool? We're in Alexander Hamilton's house." And I'm like, "Yeah, I guess so." That was before I wasn't a big fan of him. At that time, I was like, "Oh, this guy's interesting." But like, the play was just out.
So it was hot. It was a hot. He was so the play was out.
hot
So
name.
this guy, but the park director was like an all-star. This is like his.
Tell.
This was his time to shine. Like he's like, oh man, people are actually interested in this guy. Think about that. Like, how old was he?
I mean, probably a good 52.
I mean, think of
Like, been doing it for 15,
years.
20
Yeah.
years.
25 years. No one's coming to Alexander Hamilton's house. No one cares. Maybe 1-2 people a day. And he's got it. And they're like, yeah. Sorry, I'm just trying to get out of the rain. I figured I'd come in here. I don't know. Who's this bozo? He's on the $10 bill. Is he on the $10 bill? No.
Yes.
He's on the $10 bill?
He's on the $10 bill.
And then he's trying to like, Alexander Hamilton was actually a pretty important figure in American history. And everyone's like, yeah, whatever. And then finally that play comes out, and it's time to shine. And John comes in and just
there were still
totally
only 3 other
gives into
people
this-
there.
Totally gives into the
most.
flair. What'd you say?
At most, there were like 3 or 4 other people within the tour. It didn't do that much. The play didn't do much to get people actually interested in the guy.
I don't know.
But it was
a
cool.
pretty popular play.
It was. I didn't watch it. I believe you said you fell asleep during it. Yeah.
All I remember is this song
Kinda
where he kept
trash.
saying, like, not going to give it my shot. Not going to give it my shot, which I think I kind of got lost, but I think I was mishearing it. And I think the whole thing was he was saying he was going to throw his shot at the duel with Aaron Burr, right? I think he didn't want to kill Aaron Burr because like it was against his religion and whatnot. And there's always been an argument that he didn't actually.
He didn't shoot on purpose. He shot the tree above. But I think the actual thing is that Aaron Burr is the discussion is did Aaron Burr mean to shoot him because he shot him in the stomach and it pierced the bottom lung. And
I think after he realized that he was going to die, he didn't mean to. I had a little Monday morning quarterback, which is John's favorite thing to do. Oh shoot! I shot him, and then the funny, like he went back and like continued to be vice president after he killed Alexander Hamilton, right?
it's a boss move.
That's pretty.
He did not. He was not. He was not asked to return as Jefferson's running mate in the 1804 election.
Gee, I
will
wonder
say that.
why.
He was replaced by George Clinton.
Oh, yeah, not the funkadelic bass player.
Right. No,
Not
in
him.
fact,
just
not.
to be perfectly clear.
It could be named after him, though. You don't know.
You don't
possible.
know. You don't know. I do want to say, I going back to the talk about you being more on one side than the other. I got a fan sent me a review of this book that you're all about, this Founding Fathers book. It's pretty good.
Oh yeah.
It's pretty good. All right.
Who said something? Who read it?
Someone just found it on a library's website, and there was one review. It was half a star rated, 1/2 out of 5. This book.
Go ahead.
I
can take it.
It's just funny to read it out loud. I read it to myself, and I was like, "Oh, that's funny," but to read it out loud. This book is complete and utter nonsense. This is just another example of the South trying to rewrite history in their favor. The author is completely biased and has no sense of reality. So that's where John's coming from.
A proud
in his
patriot
opinion.
from
Just-
Massachusetts.
I just want
Proud Massachusettsian. Puritan. Massachusettsian.
who?
That reviewer.
Well, the guy's
Clearly,
name
they're
is-
from. I guarantee you, they're from Connecticut or Massachusetts, maybe Rhode Island. Sorry to any fans who like us up there, but the truth is, we live in New England. America is New England right now,
Well, I mean,
and maybe we'll dig into that during this podcast.
well, calm down. I'm just giving you feedback. That's where John. I just want the fans to know where John's opinion's coming from. The review came from a guy that his username or her, who knows? Like I don't know, is the initials are. It's just the username is DJTJ, which at one point I was thinking, I wonder what that could stand for. And you know whose initials that is? Donald J. Trump Jr. It's possible. It's possible. I'm just saying.
He's a Hamiltonian. He is a big-time Hamiltonian. He's on record as saying he loves Hamilton.
And he's from
I've
New York,
always-
not New England, but he did go to the Hill School in Pottstown, which respect.
I did always say Trump is a 19.
John, we just lost John. Kind of perfect timing. I don't know if he'll be able to come back, but we will. John's got to get his internet straight. He's calling right now, but we're gonna end it there abruptly, unfortunately. Or maybe I'll try to send him another invite, see if we can get him back on. All right, yeah. So John, his computer died, which you would think maybe did he have a plug? Was the plug issue? Did he think it was plugged in and actually wasn't? No, he just didn't plug in the computer that he was using for the show. So didn't give me a warning. It just straight up died, and he's going to try to plug it in, and we're going to wrap it up here. So I find it very funny the timing of when that died, but we're going to do that. But oh wait, we got John back. John, you there?
Hello.
All right.
Hello.
I was able to stall a little bit, so.
Fantastic. I hope you found a few more legitimate reviews for that book.
I think that might be the only one in
there's
existence.
plenty of them on Amazon. There's a ton, 4.8 stars on Amazon. So I don't know where these reviewers are finding these reviews, but this reality check should be read by every citizen. 5 stars by Niall B. McCoy.
By Niall B. McCoy. See, now if that's not a Southern name, I don't know what is. That's the thing. I mean, you got to read both ends of it. So, like, as much as you're reading that,
I read both ends.
Maybe you should read
from New
the
England.
other end. Maybe you should read the other end. I sent you that book that somebody that I know is reading. Maybe
sure
you should
we
read that.
Both went to high school together, and we've been getting. I've heard the other side of the story from.
I wasn't in your
through high
classes.
school.
You were in honors classes, and I elected not to take political science. Sorry, I wasn't good at history, as our listeners might be able to tell, as we've been going through this.
Just trying to call a spade a spade.
In any case,
literally.
So we're gonna wrap it up for this one. We're gonna come back sooner than later. Hopefully, we can. Next episode, we're going to draft John the Queens, the Jacks, and the Tens. Correct?
That's right.
We are going.
I've got some sizzlers.
Yeah, we're going to do, like as I said, the Queens are going to be women of the Revolution. I have a pretty solid stable of. You probably shouldn't say that. I have a pretty.
Harem.
I have a pretty good roster of women loaded up. I can't say that either.
No, I said a harem. You definitely can't say that.
I don't. What does that mean?
You don't know what a harem is?
What is it?
Okay.
What is it, Mr. Smarty Pants? You had to be smart.
Literally like a stable of concubines that Muslim rulers would have.
I might edit that out. Is that cool?
Fine.
All right. So John's been itching. He's been dying Oh, we didn't even get to this while we were talking. I guess the biggest thing that revelation that we've had since the first episode is that the pack of cards that John's great idea was based upon has already been done. We were giving a link immediately from one of our fellow listeners from Amazon. I believe he sent the link with a follow-up saying, do you guys do any research for this show? Which is a pretty, not really. So, we're just trying to talk, do a little bit of research, and try to just use the knowledge that we already have to just start a conversation. So, always fact check us. If there's anything to prove that point, is that these cards already existed. But
because we like that. Well, that shows engagement, and we really appreciate that. Even if you're going to take take it out and give us grief about it, we appreciate the engagement, because a fan didn't have to do that Google search to give us crap.
And why don't you which for the Google search for the cards or the Google search for the negative review on the book that you kept talking about?
Both. I like the engagement.
Now,
can you
to the listener who sent that review, can you say thanks for sending that? It's good to get constructive criticism. No. Okay.
Thanks for sending that. It's great to see the engagement.
And thank you, DJ TJ, whoever you are out there, for letting our listeners a little bit of an insight into what the book is about before going ahead and buying it, as John suggested, on Amazon. So
it's got 4.9 stars on Amazon, so I don't know where this individual is reading the reviews, where DJ's leaving reviews.
DJ TJ.
But anyway, with the cards.
DJ. So go back to the cards. So the cards are by their original hero.
He lost. He got the last pack. You're not getting the whole
just
story.
blurting that out.
He got the last pack. If I search them on Amazon right now, I bet you they're not even there. What are they called? Who makes them?
The original Hero Decks presents Heroes of the American Revolution playing cards. Artwork by Chuck Sentes. But I'm glad I was the one to buy them, because I envision as soon as they got to John's door, he would have opened them up and looked at all of them. So what we're kind of thinking about doing, we're going to continue to rank these people down to a certain number. I think 52 might be a lot, but we'll see. I was going through John's list that he put together, and there are some very uninteresting people as you get down to the bottom list.
Yeah, that sounds like somebody who would write a review. It sounds like something DJ TJ would say. They're all important.
Well, hey, if the thing is, if DJ TJ is the type of person that's going to write a review, we need to make people like that happy so that we can get on Apple's up-and-coming podcast list and then get 10,000 listeners, and then we can both quit our jobs.
I'm sure they love Apple.
Oh, boy. See, this is what I deal with on a day-to-day basis with this guy. Anyway, so with no further ado, John has been itching to see these cards. He wants to open them, and I'm glad that I got them, because, like I said, he would have already gone through them. I think what we're going to do, we're going to continue to rank, but then once we get to a certain point, the next in-person episode that we do, we're going to open this pack and kind of compare what we have with what Chuck Sentes and the boys over at Hero Decks think. Hopefully DJ TJ isn't involved in the making of these decks, because that's gonna ruffle some feathers on John's end, I think.
I really have no idea how our fan found these cards. I'm searching all over Amazon. I can't find it. So we might need to hire him to be our researcher. Maybe we just get him on. Surely he's.
Well, there's some other well, I shouldn't say where we went to high school, but there's some other high school alumni looking for jobs that we've been talking about. So maybe we can figure that out. In any case, with no further ado, John's been itching, so I'm going to pick a card at random, and I'm going to say who it is, and I'm going to show him the card so he can finally get off my back. Now, I will say that we were kind of going over who the jokers should be. I had a point to say we should be able to pick anybody in American history, which would be kind of fun. But what the
What if
boys
they
over
make
at
another
Heroes
deck of cards?
what the boys over at Hero Deck did was they picked documents. There's 2 documents that are jokers. The first document is the U.S. Constitution, which John would be happy to hear after all that talk. And the second one is the Bill of Rights, which is kind of the same thing. But I suppose, John, the Bill of Rights was the reasoning for the Constitution being ratified. Am I wrong, John? John's not paying attention. He's still looking for these cards. Stop.
I found it. I
have
found
them.
the website.
Oh, wow.
I found the
Good for
website.
you. Amazon.com. You found it?
No, the original Heroes deck. I'm looking at the Trump presidential playing cards right now.
Stop.
Joe Biden's
Pay attention.
dunce cap.
He has ADD.
Sorry.
Now, the next thing you know, he'll be buying all these cards and we'll be reviewing everybody's card deck, which, maybe that's what we do. How many do they have, John?
At least baseball. They've got every team in baseball. They've got every team in football, or a large number of them. They've got Penn State. Penn State has their own hero deck.
We are. Do they have Syracuse?
The Diamonds. It's not.
Are you good, John? I'm
fantastic. Let's go.
Any
I'm good.
Any other cards that are of note? Decks of cards, or is the Founding Fathers one the only one worthwhile?
American Racing, Black America, Boston Basketball, Country Music, Hillary presidential deck, Hollywood, and Marines.
And the
all
Revolutionary
over the
War,
place.
that's all that it is?
They don't have Civil War. They don't have any other historical. Wall Street Most Wanted. I don't know what
that
they're
could be
I don't know
cool.
what
Who will be on
these-
that?
they're
Like that
heroes?
guy,
I don't know.
Mike Madoff, and
I could tell you. They've got the whole list right
they
here.
have the whole list?
Ernst & Young, David Kamansky, Bernie Ebbers, Bill Irsay.
Well, that would
KPMG.
make for really good content, huh?
Yes. Who's this guy? We got the Ace of Spades.
Speaking of that,
Ken Lay from Enron.
I do want to say that to John's end, I was kind of giving him a hard time about him saying that the Ace of Spades is the most powerful card. I don't think that's true. It's definitely not true for poker, but apparently it's true for the game Bridge. But I will say that in this deck, the Ace of Spades is George Washington, who was probably unanimously the number one pick of any of the Founding Fathers. So I will give that to John as a nailed it.
Oh, do we have a sound effect for that?
So
No?
no, what? So okay, so we got the Constitution and the Bill of Rights as the jokers. Now John, pick a card and then I'll just pick who it is. I'll tell you who it is.
7 of Hearts.
This deck also has queens as women of the generation, which is cool. Seven of Hearts. Sorry, people. I'm just trying. John's not helping kill the that air, but.
Who is
This
it?
is why I didn't want. This is why I didn't want to do this. This is gonna.
All right.
This is gonna. I mean, we're 42 minutes in. I feel like this is going to double the time that we're going to be on this, but I'm going to have to do it since that's the one that you picked.
I just wanted a teaser. I just wanted a
This
simple
is quite
teaser.
the teaser. I'm just saying.
Okay.
This is quite the teaser. It is. Let's say how this will be fun. I'll read the description. I'll read what they have on there, and then you can tell me who it is. How about that?
That's a good idea.
Known. This is going to be a tough one for you. Known as the penman of the Revolution for his 12 letters from a farmer in Pennsylvania, helped craft the United States Constitution in 1787.
They knocked him down that low. It's none other than Pennsylvania and Delaware's John Dickinson.
Yeah, that's correct. You can see why I didn't want to open these now.
That's bogus. But anyway.
you have anything to say, or you just want to leave it at that and just?
No, give me one more. All right, let's go. No, let's go further down. Let's see if I can name one of these. Find a more obscure. Give me the 3 of clubs.
That didn't get enough of a rise out of you. I'm surprised by that. All you talk about is John Dickinson,
it was not.
And that's all you have to say.
He was gypped, but coming from a website that's got playing cards on puzzles and I don't know what else. You've got mail postage.
So now
stamps.
you're gonna. Okay, I mean, oh boy.
I'm not happy with the John Dick. I'm not happy with it.
Well,
but
I don't know why you
know,
would think you would be happy with it.
It's the world we live in.
You want to see him? I can show him.
Yeah, show it to me. Yeah, show me a picture. Does he look like a clown?
He looks like a pretty big clown.
Nice work, Chuck. Clint, who did these?
Chuck series. Chuck Sentes.
Nice work, Chuck.
Oh wow, 8 of Hearts is a good one too. The Hearts is
the Hearts is
stop
what?
Looking at him. The Hearts is a good suit if you ask me. I'll just say that much. All right. Name another card. We'll do one more.
Yeah, 3 of clubs.
This is an interesting one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you'll get this one. Great influence on the thinking of the Founding Fathers through his political theories of despotism and separation of powers.
Montesquieu? No.
Nice job. That is correct.
Is it?
That
Was it?
is correct. Like in Billy Madison. Remember that?
Oh, you're not. You know what? I got one for you. Do you want to take a stab at who the 6 of club in the Rock and Roll Heroes deck is, just for fun?
So you're gonna give me?
You have
Wait, so we can just do it online? It's all available?
No, there's they give you 5 pictures of it from the deck. They got a whole list, but then they only show you 5 images.
But you can read
and they got the 6 of clubs.
You can read the description. It's a shame it's not the 6 of spades. Shout out to the 6 of spades.
If I read it to you, I think you're gonna get.
That would have been tight. That was my name in my band in high school, just in case anyone was wondering.
The 6 of clubs. I can read it to you.
Yeah, read it to me. I'm not going to be able to guess it out of thin air.
Good you are. Welcome to my nightmare. I think you're going to like it. I think you're going to feel like you belong. Welcome to my nightmare.
I mean, I don't know. I don't think is that a lyric to a song?
Yeah.
My first thought, I don't know this. I don't know if I should, but my first thought is Alice Cooper.
Ding, 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 ding,
I was
ding.
right?
That is correct.
What song is that?
Welcome to my nightmare.
Welcome
it wasn't Poison.
To my nightmare. Is that how it goes? That'd be a tight song.
I know our
friend. I've never heard that song.
Our friend who was a big jazz fan, that's not his favorite Alice Cooper song for a fact. He's a big Poison fan.
Poison?
I've never heard that song. The song Poison by Alice Cooper.
No.
I know
Is that where the band got its name from? Alice Cooper had a career in politics. Did you know that?
Did he?
Somehow. My dad always said that my grandma, his mom, always knew that he was a fraud. And you want to know how they knew that he was a fraudulent rock star? How my grandmother knew? She said he had nice teeth. And if you had nice teeth, you weren't a rock star.
It could be veneers. And
then my dad said that he saw him live, and they had I think this was Alice Cooper, and there was a giant tooth with a cavity on it, and Alice Cooper had this giant toothbrush, and he was scrubbing it. I don't know. That sounds pretty wild, but I think
maybe
that's true.
Taking a dig at your grandma. Maybe he got wind of it. Screw you, I'm going to show you.
Maybe he's I'll go with it. I don't know. It is kind of weird that it's the same.
He's a showman.
Sure it was. He did love, and my dad really liked Alice Cooper live. He thought it was cool. He saw him. David Winters opened up for him, I believe. The David Winters band, the albino.
Yeah, The albino guy, yeah.
That was like way back when, I think.
Dang.
Cool. All right. Well, that's. I guess that's all that we have. I don't want to open up. I want to do another one. Surprised Montesquieu was on there. I don't really even know anything about him.
Well, he was French. I mean, he was not American. He was just the political.
Was he French?
Philosophy. I believe it was French. He spoke to he said why small republics. You have to be a small. Republics only work if they're small countries, small states. That's another thing he said.
So you must like him. And TJ probably is not a fan of Montesquieu.
I would not think so. No.
Shout out to TJ.
COVID restrictions would not work in TJ's. He loves them. I'm sure he loves them. Montesquieu would not be as big of a fan.
Of what?
Of the COVID restrictions and
still talking about that 3 years later, huh?
I can't believe no one is. I saw a commercial today. A guy came out on a construction site in a commercial. He was wearing like a bubble, just like Bubble Boy. And they were like making fun of him. Like, you can't show up on a job site looking like that. I'm like, we literally all look like that 3 years ago. How is this? It was like an insurance commercial for workman's comp. And this guy is getting dressed and dressing himself up like the boy in the bubble. And then he steps out into an active job site. And then
I feel like that's what you would do if you were on a construction site, John. I don't know I think you'd be scared you'd dress up like that. I don't know.
I know you can't wear a hard hat that's not been dinged at all.
That's rule number one. That's rule number one. Otherwise, I think someone that I've heard says that they're bozos, or I forget what his exact word was, but yeah, you don't want to be seeing anything with a clean hard hat or a clean truck. You're not going to be looked in a great light with the workers who are probably all dirty and working hard out there. Any case?
That begs the question. I have one more question then in that case. How do you get a helmet from being clean to being satisfactorily dirty to get onto a job site?
Simple answer, hard work. Boom.
You got to get the work. How do you get into the work first with a clean hard hat? I don't know.
I don't know.
It begs the question.
It begs the question.
You can't. Where do you get it dirty in the first place? If you can't show up with a clean helmet.
It
so you get made fun of. You have to put up with it.
If you were working hard enough, it shouldn't take you more than a day to get a dirty hard hat. You should see mine right now. I did some wash today. I washed these. I mean, they were caked in mud. My bibs from Carhartt. I put them in my washer. I'm like, sheesh, I don't know about this, but I did it. They came out clean. They're hanging up to dry right now. You should see my helmet.
You haven't broken your washer yet?
Mess. What?
You haven't broken your washer. You haven't broken your washer yet.
It's not mine, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, I did want to.
Sounds like a TJ kind of comment right there.
TJ.
TJ. Yeah, something you would say.
All right. Well, with that being said, that took a bit of a turn, I guess. But
you can edit it, right?
If anybody out there wants to do my laundry, you can send us an email at nailinghistorypod@gmail.com, and I'd be more than happy to bring my dirty work laundry to your house to ruin your washing machine. And don't forget to follow us on @nailinghistory on Twitter, and like it, subscribe, and share. Just throw some reviews our way. I think right now we're available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, iHeartRadio. Pretty much anywhere that you find podcasts, except for Google Podcasts, because that's going away soon. So
it's going.
I didn't waste my time. It seemed like a process to get us on there, and they're doing away with Google Podcasts like in the middle of this year. So I didn't want to waste my time.
Yeah, and I'll just give one last shout out to HeroDex, who kind of gave me a lot of content this episode. Just check them out, HeroDex.com.
And DJ
a lot of different options here. I have nothing to say to him or her. But HeroDex, yeah, support Chuck Stetson, whatever his name is. He's got a lot of cool stuff there. So.
Chuck Sentis. And thanks for your help trying to get us on the right and track with this software. Okay, that's all that we have. I'm gonna call it there. John, you good? Have anything else to say?
Great. That's it.
Next time we see you, we'll be picking queens. Get ready.
And we say bye-bye.